All right, guys, here we are with who? Jacked and Canned. You know who it is. Breaking down the tape. Zach, Hector, John, Kobe. Woo! Let's get rocking.
Jacked and Canned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jacked and Canned and the Sports Roundtable, joined today by the boys from Breaking Down the Tape. How's it going, everybody?
What up?
What's happening?
Woo, woo. Dude, talking about the boys from Breaking Down the Tape, Colbs. We bought our tickets to go over to Jersey to go see the Jets play. We're going to be there with Breaking Down the Tape. You're invited, Mr. and Mrs. Listener. So you better be there too, because we're going to be tailgating. We're going to be getting all sorts of crazy.
We're not going to know where the fuck we sit.
We're getting kicked out before we even get in. We're getting kicked out before we get in. That's the plan.
That's not how we do tailgating as an adult, because I haven't been since I was like 20 years old, so I wasn't able to go and like chug all the beers and have all the fun. If I make it into the stadium, I feel like I failed.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
You know what, Colbs? You know what's going to happen? You're going to get there, and I'm going to have to make you keep up with me.
Oh
wow.
Bring the coffin.
Bring the coffin. Bring
I
the
don't like the
coffin.
way that sounds.
This is only the second football game I've ever gone to. The first one,
me too.
Christmas Eve, Giants versus the Cowboys. Chrissy got me a fucking Cowboy Barkley jersey. I got her a Dak Prescott jersey. We went down, and I promise you, this is what happened. I don't remember walking in. I passed out for 20 minutes before halftime. I got lost going to the bathroom. I fell down the stairs leaving the stadium. We tailgated after that, and I face planted, but I never threw up.
Dude, wait. Hector, did you just say you face painted? Because that's pretty cool to do at a freaking NFL.
Face planted. Face planted.
Okay, I was going to say face painting is pretty cool outside of an NFL game. I'm like, hell yeah.
So, real quick for Mr. and Mrs. Listener, December 5th, Jets versus the Eagles. It's a 1 o'clock game. They open the gates at like 8 o'clock. We'll be there at 7 o'clock. We plan on being the first people. Follow us on Facebook because that's where the event is. Follow us everywhere. But follow Breaking Down the Tape on Facebook. You'll see the Breaking Down the Jets versus the Eagles event. And you can find out all the information where we'll be, all the fun stuff there, man.
Here's one of the
John and Colbs, we actually got a handful of people trying to actually buy tickets and show up. They might not sit around as close as you. How close are you guys to our seats?
We're very close. We're in the same section, same row. And Zach, could you go ahead and let everybody know which row and section so anybody tuning in might be able to pick those tickets up?
Heck yeah.
Or
So
anybody that
we're
wants to kill us.
Yeah. So you can find us in some gold parking lot. I don't know what gold parking lot specifically just yet we'll be in for the pregame and the postgame. We will be in section 321 in row 24. So pretty much if you look up to the highest people in the end zone, you'll see John, and then like 2 feet lower, you'll see the rest of us. So that's where we plan on being, guys.
One of the funniest things about this to me, so as Hector mentioned, it's his second game that he's going to. This is also my second game that I'm going to. And we're going to watch the damn Jets-Eagles. This is going to be a matchup of two teams that are significantly under 500 already by December.
I don't care. I get to see my favorite team play for the first time.
I don't know, Colbs. You're looking pretty good. I got to see the
Giants play, which I also love the Giants, but I love the Jets, and I haven't got to see them play yet.
Hold up, Hector. I don't mean to cut you off. John, did you just say, I don't know, they're looking pretty good? In what way are they looking pretty good? I need a little bit of clarification here.
They're looking, the Jets, I don't know, they're looking pretty damn good.
Oh, so just specifically the Jets, because I thought you were talking about both teams. I was going to say the Eagles look like a damn train wreck. I honestly think the Jets are a better team right now.
Yeah, no, I think the Jets are going to be a little bit above 500 by the time December rolls around.
Oh, wow.
Speak
I'm not going that far, but all right. Yeah, you know what? Let's talk it up, boys. Jets will be over 500.
Existence, John.
Hector's getting excited. He's celebrating over there.
All right, John, we're like 5 minutes into this. We haven't brought this up yet. Can we mention that the NBA Finals has concluded?
Oh, my God. I was excited. I was excited for the two teams that were in there, obviously, but I'm not excited about the end result. Zach, what do you think?
I'm only mad that it didn't go to 7. I said Bucks in 7 since the beginning of the last
did you?
series. So I'm only upset that the Bucks didn't win it in 7, but I am happy for the Bucks.
No, what Giannis did was absolutely phenomenal. He put up numbers that haven't been put up since Shaq, and honestly, what he did last night was more so in the realm of like what Wilt Chamberlain did. I mean, that's just an enormous amount of production that you got out of Giannis Antetokounmpo. But one of the things that I think is a big takeaway in this particular series is just how Devin Booker played in the fourth quarters of these games. I don't know if you guys really got a good look at this, but I want to say that Devin Booker made like 12 field goals the entirety of the series in fourth quarter minutes. It really was an astonishing low number. And I think that that's what hurt the team more than anything else, because that's what Devin Booker does. And he also stopped passing the ball. He had 0 assists in the fourth quarter throughout the series.
See, my take on it, I had the Suns winning in 6. I had no real bias to any team. Like I'm a Knicks fan. I just liked the chances of the Suns winning going into it. And it would have been nice to see Chris Paul win a ring. On the other
yeah.
One thing you mentioned, Hector, is that you weren't having bias going in, and neither did I. Now, I'm curious what you two feel about this specifically, because I've brought this up numerous times on our show. This, to me, has been the least interesting finals as far as storylines go for the last maybe since like 2004, when it was the Pistons that beat the Lakers. I can't think of another series that I felt so disengaged from. And I know I'm a little bit biased in saying that because I'm a LeBron fan and he's been in the majority of these finals since then. But I didn't find this to be particularly interesting. I didn't have to go sit down and watch.
Amazing. I thought
Game
the series
5 was amazing.
Was hands down amazing. Now, like I said, I wouldn't have cared if the Bucks won or the Suns won. I just was going straight off of bet props and what I thought going into it, no bias. I was like Suns in 6. I'm so glad that Giannis. Like I said, I'm a Knicks fan. I don't give a fuck who just won. I was just being a fan of basketball and making my bets. But Giannis earned it. He's a 2-time MVP, 5-time All-Star, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year. Him and Michael Jordan are the only players ever to win all 3 in one season.
So I love this. As a casual basketball fan, because I truly am, this is the most I've watched basketball since 2011, hands down.
Wow.
Because we've seen these rise. You know, we've lived at the mountaintop for so long, right? LeBron's been in the playoffs. Steph Curry's been in the playoffs or in the finals. You know, for so long, we've lived on the mountaintop of these superstar athletes that are always bringing you these crazy storylines. You know, that we haven't gotten a chance to see these smaller teams, these smaller market teams, make a run and make a name for themselves. You know, so I personally thought that this was a more engaging series because it was like LeBron's in the finals again.
And like Giannis said, I could have easily went to a super team, played my role, and won a chip. But I did it the hard way, and I fucking did it.
And that is really cool. And I appreciate the hell out of Giannis for doing that. Dame Lillard's been following a similar path, too, and I really hope that something like this pans out for him in the future.
But it's harder for point guards.
No, I agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
Chris Paul hasn't won one. If Chris Paul had someone
like Giannis
in his career a Giannis, but at the same time, he didn't want to build a super team. He was trying to do it on his own with talent.
If Chris Paul didn't turn over the ball so much, they might not have lost last night.
Yeah, he did have a pretty garbage finals. A lot of that, I think, really comes down to health, but I'm not going to sit here and defend him because we saw what we saw.
But
so I'm not going to argue
it. On what Colbs mentioned with the Booker showed up all game, every series until
the fourth quarter.
Until game 6. He only dropped 18 points on shitty field goal percentage.
Yep.
Like he was dropping 40.
No, game 3 he also only put up 10. He went 3 for 14. But outside of that, yes, Devin Booker did show up for the majority of the series. Showed up.
Chris Paul, as shitty as people say he wasn't playing, his numbers say different.
I agree. I think Chris Paul, all in all, had a good series.
But that last game, Chris Paul dropped 26 with 8 dimes or 7 dimes, and Booker dropped like 19. And if Booker dropped what he was dropping the other fucking couple games,
38,
they would have won. They would have won.
The other thing, too, that I've really taken away from this.
Hell yeah.
The other thing that I've really noticed here, have you guys seen any of the blow up on, and granted, social media will always do this for all of time. We can go through the rest of life, and one thing is certain, social media is going to blow up. The amount of different things I've heard now about Giannis and his legacy are ridiculous. I've seen today I've seen he's not top 100 all time, which I didn't realize that people were taking track of top 100 all time. But evidently there are people that believe that, and there are also people who believe that this makes him greater than Kobe. Is there not a middle ground?
Colbs, there's not a middle ground. I know one thing's for sure. He's the best ever in the world at ordering chicken McNuggets. He ordered 50 to a T. Not 49, not 51, 50. He's predicting the future. He's going to play till he's 50. Tom Brady, watch out. I have to throw it in there. Thank you.
To answer your question real quick,
Exactly.
if there is a top 5 list for people, there is a top 100.
I guess that's true.
The top players in all sports. But I don't see the list ever going past 100 because after that point there is no need. But there is a list, and most sports they do at least do a top 100.
That's a good point. I mean, I guess the NFL does it every year, right? They do the breakdown of the top 100 players in the league.
So to John's point, I have a feeling that it's more because he dropped 50 points. In the win, but
damn it!
I didn't want to blow up your spot on the spot.
I wanted to be at that.
That's my fault. I didn't look at the stats, but that was a cool video, ladies and gents. If
you weren't doing a thing, I thought you were actually doing a thing based on points. I didn't realize that you didn't know that, and you just said 50 nuggets.
I literally just saw the video of him ordering 50 nuggets, and that got me
between his legs.
That got me fired up. How he was ordering 50 nuggets. So I thought that was cool. That's what I was excited about.
Wow, well done, John. You somehow, without even knowing what you were doing, made really good content.
Thank you.
But no, to Colb's point, there's so much recency bias that causes so much sensationalism. You know, everybody's trying to take the next hot take that in 10 years they'll be able to look back on their tweet and say, oh, see, I know what I'm talking about. The rest of you guys are idiots. I called this back in 2020, and I told you Giannis was going to win 10 straight. Stop. Stop it. Chill out. Let's let history do the talking for us.
So is Mahomes, right?
Right. Well, exactly.
Okay. So question for all you guys, since it was out there today, and it's the question that everyone keeps asking: can they and do they repeat?
Yes.
No, they're not going to repeat. When it comes down to it, this season, I know that, and I've seen this all over the place today. A lot of teams have made it to a championship with help of other teams being hurt. But this year was somewhat unprecedented as far as the amount of teams that had hurt players.
Every season. There's
not to this degree.
Anomalies in every season.
by the beginning of the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals, there was an unprecedented amount of injuries to star players there had never been before. So I do think that going into this next season, everybody gets a real off season, everybody comes back healthy. I think that we're going to see the better teams, because I really don't think this was a fair representation of who the best two teams in the league were. I don't think either team would have made it in there.
The point of the playoffs is not who's the best two teams in the league all year to go play off against each other. It's who's the last two teams standing.
Yeah, but I think that when you're talking about a repeat, it's very unlikely that you get the same scenario where the same players get hurt.
Yeah, and even outside of that, I got two questions. How many times did David beat Goliath?
Once.
Thank you. And how many? And did you ever watch the movie Moneyball?
I never did. I've heard it's really good, and I love Brad Pitt, so I feel like I should.
Half of it. Zach, I still got to watch it again.
The point, hey. So the point being is that the A's tried to take a more analytic look and be the underdogs to beat the top money teams like the Red Sox or the Yankees. They didn't. Cinderella happens once.
Cinderella happens once. And let me read this quote straight from the Moneyball book on page 179.
There's no way.
Pro Ball never made the slightest attempt to encourage what he did best. I am predicting, like Nostradamus, that is about Giannis. Thank you.
Oh, wow. No. Okay. Yes, John, thank you.
That's what
he does. I did not realize that John had.
I didn't think he just had that laying next to him, ready to go.
Literally, right next to me.
I had the question ready to go. I saw John flipping through a book, but I didn't.
We didn't realize he was reading Moneyball.
Charles Schwab,
a man of many. John is Nostradamus. He knew I was going to ask the question. He had the book ready to go.
Well, he's been amped up about Nostradamus for months at this point. But Zach, there's something that you had mentioned that Cinderella only happens once. I don't think that this is necessarily Cinderella. I just don't think that it's by any means a favorite going forward. I don't think that we're talking about a team like, oh my God, how did they end up there? It shouldn't have been that big of a difference, but they did make it there. I just don't think they're going to make it a second time.
You don't know what you got until it's gone.
My thing is I give them a very high chance of repeating, not like a Golden State Warriors type of chance where you knew like, oh yeah, this is fucking a lock.
Yeah, 4 straight years of Warriors Cavs.
But I look at what they built, right? Giannis signed his deal. He's locked up. Drew Holiday is locked up for another 3 years with them. Middleton's locked up for about another 3 years with them. PJ Tucker is where they have to decide what they're gonna do with him. And then I think they have 2 players where they're coming up on the end of their contract, but they have some wiggle room. So
when I look at that team,
draft coming up, so like, how can they? And Giannis, I feel like Giannis will be one of those guys where he's like, all right, I'm making my money, I got my guaranteed. I can restructure my contract to make more guarantee, but give them more money to spend on players, like a Tom Brady-ish.
He's definitely a team guy.
Giannis wants to win.
No, I don't disagree. And the other part that I would say is when you're looking at the actual genetic makeup of the Bucks, one of the things that they do is Giannis, who is the top player on the team, obviously, he doesn't take the shots at the end of the game, but unlike most other superstars, he's willing to admit that fact and say, hey, Chris Middleton's my guy when it comes down to somebody that needs to take that shot at the end of the game. Most big ego kind of players, big name players, they don't have the presence of mind to be able to say, hey, the other guy is the guy that takes those shots. And I think that that's a real chemistry builder for that team because that's not ego-based. That's something that's team-based basketball that they can both accept. And that's going to bring them a long way. I think that we don't see this team not be at least in the second round to third round of the playoffs every damn year. And I wouldn't be shocked if they make it to another finals. I just don't think that they're going to win it back to back.
It backs up his talk too that regardless who takes that last shot for them, he's dropping 35 plus points a night.
Yeah, that's the other key, because the other 3.5 quarters, Giannis is absolutely dominating the game. And he's doing it all from within 10 feet of the bucket, which is just, it's Shaq-like. I mean, that's the only other player I've seen in my lifetime.
Imagine if he hits 80% of his free throws.
Oh my God. He'd be scoring 50 a night.
He'd be the modern day Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I don't know that he'd be that, but I think he would be somewhere between that and a Shaq, because he doesn't have the power of a Shaq, but he doesn't.
If he hit his free throws, that kid would drop easily 40 a night.
Look, he's more athletic than both Shaq and Kareem, but I think his game is somewhere intermittently in between. He doesn't have the strength of Shaq, and he doesn't have the technique and the perception that Kareem did. He hits his free throws,
and he builds a decent 3-point percentage and a dominant, mid game shot.
Yeah, but he still has to do those things. That's just it. I think that, yes, if he can generate a way that he gets the mid-range and the 3-point game down, I think that guy's unstoppable, all-time great kind of talent. But he needs to be able to figure that out, as me and John have talked about a lot, or at least I have, and John's listened, Ben Simmons. That's another guy. If he could just figure out how to shoot, he would be a very, very, very good player in this league. Instead, he's just a good player.
Just like his initials say, BS to Ben Simmons. No, not at all. Al Horford.
Get him, John.
No, here's the thing that I want to bring up real quick. Shaquille O'Neal. Colbs, you said Shaq's name a couple times. Guys, this blew my freaking mind. Do you know Shaquille O'Neal has his own grill that's out, kind of like the George Foreman grill?
No. What is it?
I didn't either. Look it up. Ladies and gents, look it up. I'm honestly debating on buying it this weekend. They're running a little discount promo on it. It's the smokeless grill. It's Shaq on there. It got me excited.
Is it called the Shagrill?
I wish. It's literally called, as seen on TV, Shaq Grill, or Shaq Smokeless Grill. Or yeah. So I wanted to know, like, which one would you like more, or which one do you think you would trust more, the George Foreman or the Shaq?
I mean,
Grill?
I'm going to trust the George Foreman because I have one, but I would definitely at least want to try the Shaq Grill because I love Shaq.
Is the Shaq Grill charcoal or propane?
Electric.
My question is the Shaq Grill making Ryan Holland a toasty nugget under that? Like he did on the ESPN take.
So many levels to that joke.
Many levels.
Talking about the Foreman Grill, little trivia question. What year did it come out in Colbs? You're up first.
Let's go 1986.
Hector.
For the Shaq Grill?
George Foreman Grill.
Oh, 1991.
Zach.
1984.
1994. The George Foreman.
Oh, wow. All right, Hector,
Yeah.
you're the winner.
A little fun question. And I've owned one. Colbs, I know you've owned one. Hector, have you?
One currently.
I've never owned one personally, but my parents growing up, my parents did have one.
Okay, redemption there. Zach, I see you shaking your head. Do not disappoint us.
If it's not charcoal, it's communism.
Oh, no, so you never had a George Foreman grill?
Never. I've never even had anything made on a George Foreman.
Okay, ladies and gents, you just heard this here. So at the tailgating party, see, we're
Zach.
going to be running a little power inverter. We're going to be hooked up to Zach's car, and we're going to have it as a George Foreman grill. It's the
Let's
first
do
time
it.
he's ever going to be using a Foreman grill.
So hold up. So Zach,
Yo,
here's
bro,
what I
I'm
gotta tell
trying
you.
to actually buy like one of those like travel battery pack things, so you can like
Yes.
have a couple plugs.
Yes. Yeah,
So
the Hondas.
you don't make burgers on it. You don't make steaks on it. What you do is if you want a nice grilled cheese, or if you want like a grilled ham and cheese,
Panini.
you throw that on the George Foreman, and it just basically heats up your stuff. You don't
Cast
sit there and
iron.
actually try to make real grill food on the George Foreman. You just heat up sandwiches.
That's what cast iron is for, big dog.
No, but then you have so much cleanup to do with the George Foreman. You just take a paper towel and wipe that thing down. You're good to go.
Hell yeah. Behind the scenes, we got to release this video somehow. That's what we got to do.
Yeah,
I
no,
got you.
Hector and actually, I think all three of you were making faces at each other.
I was before, but not now.
To promote the Facebook page, we got to release this video out on the Facebook page that was created
Sold.
for the meetup there on December 5th. So
Sold.
can't wait for it. It's going to be an awesome time. Hey, I know earlier we did mention a little bit about baseball. Now, as we always talk about in every sports roundtable on who's on top, let's find out who's on top right over here in the MLB, American League. We got the Red Sox on top. Oh, my God. We're going to come back to the Red Sox in just a moment. Yankees down there, 49 and 44. They're fighting. AL Central, we got the White Sox on top. AL West, the Astros, followed by the A's. Moneyball's in the house, baby, right next to me. NL East, New York Mets, I'm rooting for you. Stay on top. You are on top. You're going to win. Charlie Sheen status. They're followed by the Phillies, the Braves, and the Nats. Tough division over there. NL Central, Brewers, followed by the Reds. NL West, the Giants. What the hell is up with you, Giants? Like, I mean, is it Barry Zito, like, over there kind of hanging out with you and, like, doing some, I don't know, smoking some funny stuff or something in San Fran? But they're followed by the Dodgers. The Dodgers, take them out. It's been too long. The Giants have been playing around for far, far, far too long. Now, back to the Red Sox. Guys, did you happen to see the video clip of the outfielder, and I don't remember his name, of the
Verdugo.
Thank you. Of the Red Sox outfielder getting literally whacked with the ball and turning around. I thought he was going to brawl him. I thought he was going to jump over the fence. I thought it was like, for a quick moment, I honestly thought it was the dude that leaned over in the Chicago Cubs game and stole the pennant chance from them. And I said,
Yeah.
Oh my God, the dude is back in a major league stadium. He's getting revenge. He's throwing a ball at somebody. Nope, not the case.
So I, as a Yankees fan, honestly, it's even against the Sox, it's something you don't want to see, man. Like these guys are out there just trying to earn a paycheck, like everyone does 9 to 5, and go out there and do their jobs and put on for the fans and win themselves a pennant. And I hate the fucking Sox, but that's uncalled for. Hector's brought this up on previous episodes on our podcast about how he believes fans, and there should be like a section of the stadium, like a boxing ring almost, where if you want to call out a player, you want to do some disrespectful shit to a player, well, that's where you all meet up after the game and you figure it out man to man. You have the balls to throw a ball, at a player from the stands, go ahead and meet him in that box, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and like Zach mentioned, as much as we hate Boston, be as disrespectful and as crazy as a fan as you need to be between the lines of the game.
Yeah.
And just like the players can only play between the confines of the line of the baseball game, as a fan, you have a line. You're not free reign. It goes for you too. You can't just do some. I get it. You know what? You want to throw the ball back on the field. We've seen it millions of times, but you're throwing it straight directly at him. You're hitting him. We've seen already basketball games with fans throwing crap at people and
It's
hitting
getting crazy.
players. We've seen soccer games. We've seen players on soccer games getting pelted by full water bottles. It's unnecessary, and the only way to get people to to obey regardless of your rivalry, to respect the game is to automatically ban. Like, I'm 100% ban. Life done. You fucked up. Banned. Life.
No, and to
done.
one of the points that Hector makes there too, what I was going to bring to this was exactly that we've seen this now in damn near every sport that's gone on since the return from COVID, where the NBA playoffs were just littered with fans destroying every bit of integrity that they had, between the fights in the stands with the Suns and 4 guy, between the water bottle being thrown onto the court, but just everybody's been doing things at an immensely high level as far as just player destructive tendencies from a fanship standpoint. And it just makes you a little bit sick to it, because I've never in my life thought to myself, like, you know what, I'm going to go fight that player right now because I don't like the way this game's going. That's not how that works. Like, yeah, I hate Ben Roethlisberger. I'm not trying to run onto the field and ruin the game just to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, or Meta World Peace. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, he'd be.
I defend Meta World Peace. He was sitting, he was laying down on the fucking podium, and a beer came crashing down into his fucking face.
Oh, I don't necessarily disagree with his reaction to that.
I would have done this. I would have had the same reaction. I'm getting up and I'm cracking a cold one with fucking whoever threw that beer at me.
I don't disagree with the reaction to specifically that. The thing is when you said you defend him, I figured you meant in general. I've seen that dude throw elbows that, like, do you remember when he hit James Harden in the side of the head with a...
Yeah, but hold up. In that respect, Colbs, I will defend him. That is amongst his peers. And if James Harden wanted to throw shit, that's between him, James Harden, and God, and has nothing to do with a fan. So
yeah, but James Harden wasn't there to throw bows. James Harden was trying to run down the back down the court.
Right, but what I'm saying is that's amongst fans are not players' peers. We are not.
No. I am not placing this as a fan issue. I'm just saying it's hard to defend Meta World Peace because Meta World Peace is not, in fact, peaceful.
Right. All I'm saying, I mean to defend him against fans, right? Like, if you want to say, against his own peers and James Harden, whoever else, like, no, I'm not going to defend that. But no fan gets to pick a beef because it wasn't with you.
No, that's, if a player wants to come out, I all agree with. And the douchebag that threw the beer on him deserves to rot in hell.
Right. And that's the thing that gets me is, and especially with COVID.
No, and he doesn't even rot in hell. He caught the 2-piece. Ow!
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's because of COVID. Maybe it's because of the rise of the internet. But you gotta, if you're willing to do that from the stands, you better be willing to stand before him and test what you're about and find it out.
Yeah, he scares me.
Well, yeah, John, you're scared.
I'm not about it.
I give it another 3 to 5 years, and it'll be enough in the world where they'll allow my idea of like this boxing, like there's a matchup room where you just no one's in, like you just got a mediator and they two meet up and you do what you got to do, no one else involved. You want to feel testy and you feel some type of way about somebody, bet.
Dude, mutual combat should be agreed upon.
Oh yeah. One more thing there. I know, Hector, you just said boxing. One last topic here. We're going to wrap up this roundtable episode. But it's really not boxing. It kind of goes more into UFC. All right. We know the big event that just took place. Yup. We're throwing some jabs over here. I'm flailing like a fish, like a magic carp. Splash, splash, splash. That's what would be my go-to move out there on the floor. Now, we know what the fight card looked like. Conor McGregor. Any thoughts? Is he going to come back? Is he going to disappear? Is he going to be like Ronda Rousey after this one and kind of maybe just fade off, do something else for a little bit, maybe come back in a few years? I know Ronda Rousey, you can't really compare it because she's having a family, she's having a kid, but I don't know if she'll actually be back in the ring. Now, will Conor McGregor be back in a UFC ring?
100%. I think if he loses to Poirier, like stand up, whether it get TKO, knockout, goes to the cards, I think he's done. But for him to lose the way he did and do the stanky leg, like I think he'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
I see him coming back, and of course he'll be back in the ring. But him being a dominant Conor McGregor, that is over.
Really?
If he goes against Poirier again, Poirier is going to manhandle him. And if he faces anyone who's pretty much a top person in the UFC right now, he's most likely going to lose, but he'll make a good bag because his name is Conor McGregor.
All right. Yeah. Colbs.
You wanted my opinion here? I thought I made it pretty clear and evident with the last roundtable we did.
Kick in here, buddy.
No, the way that ended, clearly Conor McGregor is going to come back. Dana White's already hinted that he's going to be giving him another shot at Poirier. I don't necessarily know for sure that he will be able to come back and beat Poirier, but I'm not as adamant as Hector is on it that it is just a done deal. Poirier is better. I think Conor McGregor is still an elite fighter in this league, and I think that he has spent a lot of time doing other things, which has hindered his process as far as how he fights. But he's still one of the most unorthodox and exciting fighters there have ever been in MMA, and I think that him coming back, if he comes back healthy, comes back strong, I think that he really gets in there and puts up a good fight, and I wouldn't be shocked to see him pull a knockout that you weren't expecting.
You know who's exciting? You know who's unorthodox? Jacked and Canned, breaking down the tape. This has been an awesome sports roundtable episode, baby. Boys, plug yourself. Where can we catch you?
Anywhere on socials, man. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Sports Me if you haven't downloaded, TikTok. You can find us pretty much anywhere, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast, man. Breaking down the tape.
And we said what we said.
Woo!
This was Jacked and Canned. Tune in to new episodes on iTunes and check out what the boys are getting themselves into on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Jacked and Canned. Presented by no one.